This is kind of going into more of the town that we were in. We were in a little bit of a town, and this is the road once we finally got to the camp. It was in a place called Milano, and this is the road that the camp is on. It's just on the left-hand side. So we stayed at Camp Emmanuel. There was, very nice facilities. This is the girls' room. My bed's kind of straight ahead on the top with the blue. That's where I slept. This is the girls' room. We had very nice accommodations. The food, we had to bring all of our own food. So we had, I think, about 20 suitcases of food, canned food, boxed food, because they did not want us eating any of the food, the Bolivian food, especially fruits and vegetables, or just any food there. So we had to bring all of our own boxed food and canned food, so that's what we ate. We fed about 40 people every meal, so we needed a lot of food. That's like a third of the food probably. But it was a real blessing because we had so much food compared to what they had, and so we fed these 40 people, but we always had leftovers, so we were able to, give it to the people right in the town that we were at, and then all the leftover food that we didn't cook, we just kept it with the missionaries or, with other people, so they were just, so blessed by our abundance of food that we had brought with us. So this is another little picture of the camp. Basically, it was, as you can see kind of on the left, there's a row of like the dorms where the rooms are. There's a big basketball court in the middle, and then there's a row of dorms on the right-hand side. So that's basically what the camp was. It wasn't super big, but it had everything we needed. That's the bathroom, the girls' bathroom at least. This is our sink. It was outside. There's no sinks in the bathroom. So this is the mango tree. Actually, speaking of mango trees, last night it made me think about this. I absolutely love brushing my teeth out here by the mango tree. It's very fun. This is kind of the other direction of the camp. On the right-hand side of the building is actually a church. That's the front of the church. So this camp is run by a native Bolivian family. The pastor, the family lives right there in the camp. And that's where, we basically stay right with them. This is the church that they run. That's kind of the front gate of it. They have services on Sundays at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. They have services on Thursdays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 p.m. So they have a lot of services. We were actually able to go to the Thursday night 8 o'clock p.m. service, so that was really, really, it was all in Spanish, so it was very fun. This is actually the front of the church, so the road is kind of straight ahead, and I'm standing in front of the church, so I just thought it was a very nice little entry way into the church. This is kind of the wall that, it's all wall to keep us, safe, keep them safe, all wire and barbed wires and, gates and everything everywhere. So that's kind of just the front of the camp. The church is called Maranatha, so just on every kind of division there's a letter from Maranatha. This is Dorca. She is the pastor's daughter. She's 19 years old. She speaks absolutely no English, and I speak very little Spanish. But we became very good friends. We talked every day. We ate a lot of meals together. It's amazing how much you can communicate with someone even though you can barely talk to them. So it was really, really, really neat to be with her. She loves the Lord. She's a great, great girl. She helped us a lot that week, and it was just really fun to get to know her. This is the pastor and part of his family. He has another son too that's not in the picture, but his wife's there on the left in the blue, and then the pastor and then a daughter, and then Dorca there. So this is kind of the center of town, like a little park, I guess you would call it, just a little fountain. This is their hospital. I was very excited to get to go to the hospital right in the town. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I, had never been to a hospital other than in the United States, so it's really exciting. This is their operating room. It was pretty outdated. This is their laundry. So it's all done by hand, and they hang all the laundry for all the gowns, all the bedding, whatever. In the laundry. This is if they had a really nice lab. That was actually one of the nicest parts of the hospital. This is where you would go if you needed blood work. And I was very impressed too that they actually had a refrigerator where they keep blood, like if you donate blood, like through the Red Cross or whatever, they actually have, there was no blood in it, but it was actually where they could keep the blood if somebody needed a blood transfusion. So I thought that was they only had a few patients over there. They hold about 15 or 20 if they can overflow. This is the men's room. There's 3 beds, like all together in there. Obviously very close, no privacy for the men. But there's no patients, so I could take a picture. This is the view from the hospital, which I just thought was like amazing to like go to work and that's your view. an ambulance that is parked outside, and a beautiful hibiscus. Alright, so now let's get into why we really went, just kind of background of the country, but these are some of the beautiful Bolivian people. We obviously went to serve them. We went up into the mountains, which is a very hard region to reach. It's very hard to get to because of the road conditions, and nobody really wants to live there. So there are actually a few missionary families that we met who are out in the mountains, but it's very, very hard because they're in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and everybody is so spread out, so it's very hard for them to get connected with the people. Besides the host family missionaries, we had 6 families of missionaries that worked with us. There were at least 25 people total, like some of them had babies, right up to college students, so it was just amazing to work with these people. They were our translators. Like, I knew we were having translators, but I thought they were just going to hire translators from Bolivia to be our translators. But they were actually the missionaries that were our translators, which was really neat because we just really, really got to know them and just really hear about their work. Like, I know, last night and other times you hear about, oh, the missionaries are doing this, the missionaries are doing that, pray for the missionaries because they're doing whatever. But it's like, we got to see firsthand exactly what they do. And they shared with us what they did, they shared their struggles, they shared their joys. It was just amazing to spend a week with all these missionary people. So they just have a really big heart for these mountain people who are very hard to reach. And they're just, so excited that we were coming to help them, to reach them. The missionaries, as a side note, they weren't even part of the same mission organization. They didn't even necessarily know each other very well. So it was just really neat for them to, come together. They say, they're so lonely and they just don't, because they're way up in the mountains, nobody's really around them. So it's just kind of neat for them to kind of build connections amongst themselves. And now, they start talking about, doing work together and, how can they work together. So it was just neat to see that missionaries, completely not knowing each other, completely from different places, kind of coming together with us as well. So these are just some of the people that we reached. So on the first full day that we were at the camp, we kind of had to get ready for our medical clinics. This is a picture of us getting ready. I know it's very dark, but that's because there was no electricity that day. The electricity was very, very sparse during the day. So we had to pack all the pills. That's the flash in my camera made it that bright. But we had to pack all the medicine in the dark. So that was kind of hard because the medications are written in Spanish, so I'm having to learn that in Spanish. So that was a little challenging. So basically, we could bring them vitamins. They had very little access to vitamins. They're very, very expensive. So we brought all the vitamins from the United States. We brought like 10,000 multivitamins, plus we brought like prenatal vitamins and children's vitamins. So we brought a lot of vitamins. We had to package all them. We packed them in little baggies of 30. And then all of the other medications, we brought like a lot of Tylenol, a lot of Advil, a lot of antibiotics, creams, eye drops, all sorts of stuff to give to people. That was all bought in Bolivia because they were not allowed us to bring medications in, like through customs and everything. We weren't allowed to bring any medications in. So we had to kind of sort through all the medications and get them all ready to be able to go out for the clinic. So it took quite a while. So that's kind of how we counted them out, the little chewable vitamins. So these on the wall are like just plastic shoe bags, like if you put it over your door to keep your shoes in, that's exactly what they are. So we had 4 medical teams and we kind of had to divvy up the medications that we had so that we could have them for every day, kind of distribute. That's kind of our pharmacy and their own mark so we could kind of know what meds are what. So I got to, learn a lot of Spanish medications. This is our suitcase. So this is basically what we had to take to the clinic. So you can see on the right kind of those medication bags rolled up, and then on the left is our blood pressure cuffs, stethoscopes, kind of extra medications, different stuff over there. This is the vans. This van was just for suitcases and everything. We had probably about 15 of these action packers that we had to take to the clinics every day. So that's kind of the van being packed. So this is traveling to our clinic the first day. That's the road straight ahead. It's covered in water. It was a pretty exciting trip. We weren't going very far, but it took us a long time to get there. This is the first clinic, kind of getting set up. We had to bring all our own chairs, all of our own tables, like from the camp. We didn't take them from the United States, but from the camp we had to pack all that stuff up and then So we had dentists with us, they had their dental chairs, they had all of their dental supplies, we had all of our supplies. This is the first church that we had our clinic in. So this is my station. This is Carol, who I worked with. She was a nurse practitioner from Florida. She's 1 year younger than me. She had gone one other time when she was a nurse, and so this is her second trip now as a provider. So she and I worked one-on-one together all week. So this is kind of our little clinic station. It's kind of like going to the walk-in, basically. People would, come to our station, and we would have, just our little few supplies there. As you can see in the background, our little medication pack that we had packed back at the campus hanging there. People were able to get reading glasses. So this is Karina. She's 17 years old. She went with us, and she was able to distribute eyeglasses. And that's another of Carol and I actually seeing patients. My job was basically the medication part, so I had to, once Carol told me what medications we were going to give the patients, then I had to kind of get them all ready. So I had to write in Spanish all of the directions for the medications, so I learned that pretty quickly. The first day, the missionary wife was with me because Carol's actually fluent in Spanish. She was an MK, grew up in Chile, so she was completely comfortable speaking Spanish, so I had no idea what was going on at first. So the missionary kind of sat with me and kind of helped me figure out how to write what I needed to write. So I did it. I learned pretty quickly because I had to. So that was pretty interesting. So we kind of packaged up all the medications and then gave them a mother and a son who we saw. This is clinic day 2. These are, like, as soon as we arrived, that's how many people were already waiting for us. And we would, get up about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, have breakfast, and we'd leave for the camp by usually 7:30 at the very latest. We'd get there by 8 if we're lucky, and then set up like 8:30. So these people were there like well before 8 o'clock. They're just waiting. And Bolivian people are just so patient. It was hot already, the sun was up, they would just wait there for hours. Like whatever it took, they were just waiting. Like they just couldn't wait. Like they said they wouldn't be surprised if people were sleeping there because they were just so excited that we were coming. They didn't care how long it took us to get ready. I took this kind of all for you in a way. This is their church kitchen at this particular church. You can see very, very, on the bottom right is like a stove burner. But kind of on the center, in the middle of the wall, that's like their shelf of like salt and different stuff. And, yeah, so I thought that was pretty. So we complain about our church kitchen, but that's So this is my kind of clinic for the second day. Carol and I, there's a barbed wire fence right behind us with wild dogs and wild chickens, so we had to be very careful because it was right there. We were outside that day. There was a little bit of a cover, but we were outside. It was pretty hot, but that's our setup for the second day. This is the dental work. They had 2 dentists that we took and 2 dental hygienists. One did just extractions of teeth and the other one did restorative work. So basically, when the people came, they could decide what they wanted to see. So they could see the medical group, they could see us, they could get eyeglasses, or they could see the dentist. So they get different colored papers, so we all knew who was going where. And if we had time, some people might be able to get a tooth pulled and have eyeglasses too. But, we just had to be careful on the time and make sure everybody got at least something that they really needed. This is the clinic on day 3. As you can see kind of in the left, there's a little truck with people standing. They went out and picked up people from all over because people are pretty spread out here in the mountains. So they picked up people and they actually brought them to the clinic. So a couple of times we had people that had buses, but this particular one was just the truck. This is the clinic, the waiting outside. People are already waiting, setting up for the dentist. We're basically always in a church sanctuary, which their churches are just one room. They're not very big, so we were pretty crowded on most days. That's Carol and I at our medical station that day.